time, my damies, and welcome to Season 2, Episode 8 of Reviewedly Interrupted. Episode 60 altogether. Oh my god. Like, we should celebrate our 60th anniversary together. This is our 60th anniversary together. Isn't this amazing? What did you get me? Nothing? Bastard. This time, now I'm kicking off with a new franchise. I don't know. I guess we can call it a franchise. I don't know if it really... This is not a standard franchise. Because when it came to the 70s and 80s and overseas versus domestic, here I'm in the U.S., so like that's how I'm calling it. So overseas and domestic. Sometimes titles of movies and just different things got lumped in and changed around due to distribution, due to like maybe playing off a name of something else to kind of like, you know, get people to watch their movie, kind of like clickbait. It was like the clickbait version of movie distribution back in the day. That's what that was. But I'm going to be doing zombies, beginning with Lucio Fulci's Zombie, which has had like hella different names. It's also been Zombie Flesh Eaters. It's also straight up been Zombie 2, because it was actually supposed to be an unofficial sequel to like fucking, what is it, Romero's Dawn of the Dead. It's like his unofficial kind of sequel to it or something. It's like a whole thing. Yet again, I pumped so much bullshit in my head, I can't remember the details. It's been a minute, so I will watch all the special features. And what's funny is like a lot of questions I had about some of the Critters movies and everything. I'd say like, man, you know, I kind of wonder what this is about. I guess when I get to the special features, I'll find out. 100% true. So a lot of stuff where I'm like, whoa, what about this and that? All on the special features, and it was like great because I was like, all right, I got some good insight. There were still some unanswered questions, but you know, c'est la vie. C'est la vie. But a lot of stuff I was like, oh, okay. And I feel kind of bad. Let me know in the comments if you guys think I should do videos where I like talk about stuff like almost like trivia like stuff, you know, almost like a bonus feature stuff where we dive in deeper about maybe some more special things about the movie, not just what's on the screen, but what's going on behind the screen. I don't know. I was looking at my mustache on the video, so I could see the video, and I just felt a little Italian man for a second there. That one guy that's like, he always looks sleepy, and his guy's eyes like this. That's what I felt like. I felt like that guy for a second. But yeah, I don't know. Let me know in the comments if you guys think it'd be cool if I do like little videos where it's like I'll do one about the movie itself, and then maybe do something about like, hey, some little trivia, some behind the scenes, some little factoids, you know, different little stuff about that if you guys want to know that, or if you're just like, you should just go buy the movie and watch the special features and enjoy them all the time. That's what I do. But anyway, let's kick into Zombie. This is my lovely 3-disc limited edition from Blue Underground with the cool little, like, I don't know what they call that, the little cover thing that does the changes and everything. It doesn't look like it's doing it for the camera, but I don't know. It's doing it for me. It looks cool. I don't know. Kind of 3D-esque. It's pretty cool. Disc 1, you know, the movie and some special features. Disc 2, straight special features. And also a bonus CD of the music score, the music soundtrack, which I love because I love the music to this movie a lot. It gets stuck in my head. It pops in my head at random times. No fucking joke. But it says new 4K restoration. This is only a Blu-ray. This is not 4K. I do want to upgrade it to 4K because it'd be sick. I also, out in storage, have a lovely 3-disc DVD version. Yes, I kept my 3-disc DVD version of Zombie also. It's so pretty. But this is also a very beautiful, very, very beautiful little Blu-ray set that if you're a collector, you know, it's pretty solid. Blue Underground does some solid stuff. Now fuck it, let's get into the movie. I've been talking for 4.5 minutes and I haven't even really talked about the movie yet, so let's really kick this off because I don't want to take all day. Okay, I'm going to talk really fast, but only for a second. Okay, it came out in 1979, right at the end of the 70s there. Rated R, duh. I'm surprised it didn't get like an unrated or... Did they have NC-17 by then? Just because of the gore and the violence, you know, because... But I guess in 79 it was like, you know, whatever. Runtime is only 1 hour and 31 minutes, so, you know, it's not a super long one. Cast of Tisa Farrow. Yes, that is Mia Farrow's sister. Ian McCulloch, who pops up in like some other Fulci, I do believe. Al Cliver, who definitely does. We got Aretta Gay, Richard Johnson, and Olga Karlatos. I want to say her last name is pronounced Karlatos. It looks Greek. It looks like it's spelled Greek, so it might be Karlatos. But that's the main cast there. Directed by Lucio Fulci. Ah, gotta love it. And he also makes his little cameo in there. But it starts off with a brutal zombie headshot. I love that. Just immediately, it's just like, bam, headshot to the zombie in the sheet, fucking blood. It's not super crazy bloody. It's not super over the top, but it lets you know, like, hey, this is what you're fucking in for, all right? If you had any, like, oh, I wonder what it's gonna, this is what it's gonna fucking be like, so be prepared. This is like how it starts. So it starts with like in your face, like, yeah, this is some good shit. This is some hardcore shit. And I love the classic Italian horror score by Fabio Frizzi. I'm going to be talking about that a lot because I really do love the soundtrack. The different songs that pop up in there, it's great. And I love the first real zombie scene where, you know, we saw the zombie getting shot, but now we're on the boat. They find the boat. And that the fat zombie, I don't know, I think he's just called that too or something, I don't know. But like, I don't know if he has a name, but he's just like boat zombie maybe. But he's like, you don't see a lot of like fat zombies. You really don't, you know, because they usually try to make them look skinny, like they're rotted corpses or whatever. So it was refreshing. But that first scene, it's just like, I love the mix of practical effects and the real bugs, the real creepy crawlies. It just makes it look grosser. Like you could tell, like the hand when it pops down, that it's like, it looks fake, especially with the higher definition. But it's like, whatever, dude. But you got the bugs on there, and it's like gross. And I really, really love that. And all the wide shots that they do just while the boat's there around the harbor and everything, like you could tell that Fulci really loved wide shots of New York City around this era, you know, in the different movies he did that took place in New York, like around this time, lots of wide shots. Like he loved showing New York. I think he really loved it. And like I want to make sure to say, because it's like, it's not something I follow. I don't know if I followed it before, maybe at one point and forgotten. I don't know. Probably didn't hit me until this time when I really, because this is one of those movies I just buckle up and I just go along for the ride and enjoy myself because it's such a fun fucking movie for me to watch and I love it. But like to really like watch it, I'm like, oh yeah, because in that boat scene, okay, we got that first scene out of the way. The cop gets bit, the cop dies. We see in the autopsy room, the cop's corpse start to move, and then boom, we're with our main protagonist. We're off somewhere else. What just happened there was a split. There was a plot split where it branched, where we had a choice at that moment. We'll say the filmmaker at that time had a choice to take the left path and go with New York City and its zombie infestation that begins, or go to this island and see where the fuck it started. And where do we go? We go to that island where it started. I love that. But at that point, there are two plots going on. But there's one that we know nothing about. After we get to the island, it's like we're so in it. At least I am. I'm so in it that I like the stuff that's going on in New York. It's like, what the fuck ever, dude. I'm right here. This is what's happening. Because these are really well written characters, and you like watching them. They're great actors and they're very well, solid written characters. So I just kind of like get riveted, and I'm like, okay, I'm with them. And then all of a sudden it comes back to the New York thing. It's like, oh yeah, shit, that's right. So at that point, like, I'll have to watch the special features again, all the commentaries and all the kind of shit. It'd be interesting to know if there is, like, because I don't know, I don't remember. I know I've watched the special features, but I don't fucking remember. There's a possibility that there is a whole movie that's like, that's what they show what's going on, or it's supposed to be a different movie that somebody else did, or it's almost how it is an ode to another movie because, you know, I don't know. Well, if it fits in with another, like if that plot fits in somewhere, that'd be interesting to see and know. But like right there is a plot fucking split, and there is a lot of movies. Like I say, if they made this movie like 2 hours, like to 2.5 hours, it's one of those things where they probably would have intercut with what was happening and going in New York. But I really love how it's just like, okay, we got that started. Now we're gonna go follow this. This is what's been happening. This is what's going on. This is the beginnings. So I really love that. It's almost like the origin story. Like it really lets you know it's the origin story. And Fulci's little Hitchcock cameo. He's always got to have a little cameo in there, which is nice. I always thought that the interrogation of the daughter was like strangely aggressive. It's like she's there trying to find out her dad. They call her and she's like has no idea what's going on, and they're just like, yeah, so where is your father? That's what we'd like to know, ma'am. And it's like, bro, she has no idea what the fuck's going on. It's like you just tone it down a notch. You're like strangely aggressive. It's strangely aggressive. Like, calm down. And I love the catchy disco song. Like, it's one of the songs in there. It's just like, it's so weird. Every time I hear it, I'm like, I don't know what it is, but it's like the different rhythm, like the rhythm of the vocals, like the cadence of the vocals and the rhythm, juxtaposed with like the disco and just like the different, like the guitar riff and everything. I don't know. It, like, that song I heard, I'm just like, dude, I don't know. I could listen to this just for like hours. Just put me in a sensory deprivation tank for like 2 hours and just have that song playing over and over again. I think I will unravel not just the mysteries of the universe, but the mysteries of space and time itself. Yes. So just go ahead down to the links, and you'll see that there's, for my GoFundMe, to pay for my 2 hour sensory deprivation of listening to that song for 2 hours. It's only like $150, but it'd be pretty cool. Happy birthday to me, but not really. Okay. What I love about this movie, what hit me with this, watching it this time, because this time, like I said, I'm making the notes, so I'm really getting into it. And this is probably going to be a much longer video because I got a lot of notes for this one. I really love this movie, and I really wanted to like tear it apart a little bit. Yeah, dig into it. But it's a great mix of gore and violence mixed with film noir-esque intrigue. And that's what makes the Italian horror classic around that time. Like, you have the giallo, which is like the slashers and everything. But then you have shit like this where it's like, it's a fucking zombie movie. It's a straight up horror monster zombie movie. But it manages to like have that giallo aspect of like, the violence and the gore and the blood that, not pulling punches with that. Along with this very film noir like intrigue, the suspense, with the characters, and it builds. So it has like this thriller aspect along with this hardcore violence and gore monster movie aspect. And I think that's one of the reasons why it really resonates with some people, with some horror fans, is like the horror around that time, whether it's this, whether it's a cannibal movie, whether it's just like any kind of Italian horror around that time. It just had that feel where it was like this mishmash of genres that didn't feel uncomfortable. Like, it fit. It worked. So, man, my nose all dry on that side? It looks red. Does it look red on that side to you guys? Does it? I don't know. Maybe it's just a light. I don't know. But, and I already talked about the really well-written main characters. Like, you really get them, I put, almost immediately. Where it's like, they don't overtly like, hi, my name's blah, blah, blah. They go into a backstory and they explain different like details about themselves, like dropping shit into conversations like, oh yeah, and by the way, none of that. Just by their, like, how they go about things, the things they say, their actions, everything else, just kind of like portrays who they are. But as you go along, you get to know more about them because they're put in situations, so their characters build. But they're very well written. It's almost like you really jump in the middle of their story, like their life, And I really like the characters. They were actually very well written, like for a zombie movie. It was very, very good. And the cop that's on the boat that catches them when they're sneaking around trying to find clues and everything. His overdubbed voice is Robert Kerman from my favorite movie, Cannibal Holocaust. Yes, that's my favorite movie of all time. You may love it, you may hate it. It is what it is. But like, I always love when I'm watching an Italian movie or like a nice foreign movie like that. And I think he pops up on other stuff too, but it's mostly like, the Italian movies where his voice is overdubbed for the American distribution. I always love it. I'm like, And the phone booth scene is at a place that seems to be like a favorite of Italian directors. I'm pretty sure that's in Cannibal Holocaust too. It looks like that same building. I'm not sure if there's multiple buildings like that. There might be. Never been to New York. Don't know that much about New York. The harbor, by the bay, by the water. I don't know. I don't fucking know, dude. Don't ask me. But that building, if it's the same building, I've seen it in like so many Italian like horror movies. Just that particular area. I'm pretty sure it's the same one, possibly. And I love the Cool Island song. That's the one that pops into my head all the time. Beep boop beep 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 boop 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 beep boop. Beep boop beep boop boom doom 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 doom. Like the fucking steel drum. It's like sounds so cheesy, but it's just like you just want to snap your fingers to it. I don't know why, but that song is so. Maybe it's because it's so cheesy, and I'm just a dork like that. That's why it gets caught in my head. And I love it's the perverted. It seems like the perverted science zombie plot. It seems like it. Like at first, I wrote down the perverted zombie plot, but then as I watched, I was like, oh yeah, duh. Like I said, really picking it apart instead of just going along for the ride and everything, and just loving what's unfolding before me. Like at first, it seems like a perverted science zombie plot. Perverted science, zombie plot. And it slowly starts to blend in the classic black magic Islander zombie stuff. You know, like just the really classic the old black and white shit where there'd be like zombies, but it was like it wasn't the rising from the dead like that. It was like people hypnotized and turned into zombies. You know, more of along the Haitian voodoo type stuff. You know, like the older movies like that, like White Zombie with Bela Lugosi and shit like that, and just like so many other movies that I have on like these goofy little collections, and like 800 movies for $3 on 5,000 DVDs, you know, like that kind of shit. But like it slowly starts to creep in there where they start to like talk about like, hey man, there's something about the island, and it's like, okay, you know, and it's like, you know, is it just superstition? And one thing I gotta say, this is a life rule for me now especially, is to never trust a scientist doing biological research in a distant, hard-to-reach jungle climate. Yes, never trust a scientist doing biological research in a distant, hard-to-reach jungle climate. It doesn't matter if it's on an island. It doesn't matter if it's like South America or Africa or Australia or wherever. If a scientist is doing weird if he's doing any kind of research, and it's in a hard to reach place where it's very, very humid, don't go there. It's what he's doing is not right. There's a reason it's hard to reach. It's because what he's doing is wrong. So just go there with police. Just take police there. If you're going there, just be like, hey, I'm going to tell you right now, we're going to go find some shit. I don't know, make up something for the warrant. I'm just telling you, you will find something. Something will be going on there. And it's like, what cracks me up is like this scene right here where, so our two first main protagonists meet up with our second group, Team B protagonists. And it's like, it got to this, like, where she's jumping in the water and diving. It's like, where they just like, we need nipples. I don't know, just have her scuba dive topless. All right, sounds like a plan. Makes no sense. She could have just wore a fucking bathing suit. There was no fucking reason for that. There was nothing in there in the plot that was like, we need titties right here. They were just like, I think they were just like, you know what? We don't need them, but the public, I tell you, the public wants them. Ridiculous. But what comes up on this boat scene, the zombie versus shark. It is one of the most epic scenes in a zombie movie ever. To watch a zombie and a shark fight. It's like, what in the fucking fuck? It is amazing. For nothing else alone, if you totally watch this movie and you're like, it's banal, I really, you know, it wasn't that great. It was like, it was a zombie movie, whatever, you know, it was so-so. If you just like that, you know, Even if you hate it, you're like, it's not my type of thing. I fucking hate it. You know, it's too gory or something. Just whatever. You should love this movie for the zombie versus shark moment alone. That is fucking great. And this guy was just like hiding down underneath the rock there, or just chilling. It's like he wasn't doing anything. He just waited. All of a sudden that lady pops up. He comes out of a little cave underneath a rock, and then he fights a shark. Craziness. And the theme that plays during the underwater scene is the classic Italian, that where it gets like a heartbeat. Like, it's very driving. It gets very percussive, and the way it builds. It's like, it's a very classic, like Frizzi fucking, that's got to be like Fabio Frizzi's influence in there. Because there was two people that wrote the music, I guess, but that's definitely got to be his influence on that part. That is just classic. The with the snare. You know, just like, it's classic. Oh my god, it's so hypnotic. That's the thing with a lot of these songs in here, is they're hypnotic. They cycle, and it's just like, and it's like, I don't know, there's something about it. It just hits this rhythm, and it's like, I really love the soundtrack to this one, and I'm glad that I think Blue Underground knew. I think it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, this has one of those soundtracks that people are going to want to fucking bump in their fucking rides as they're cruising around, like I did with the Cannibal Holocaust soundtrack, like a nut job, just bumping the goddamn Cannibal Holocaust soundtrack for like 2 weeks. And I love how we see the hospital, we see the inside, and it is absolutely the worst hospital ever. I would say if you were to rate this hospital, it would be like fifth world. Like, it's gone past third world. It is like, some of the beds are just like old boats. It is the most ridiculous thing on the inside. It's just like, maybe they're not dying from whatever is going around turning people into zombies. Maybe they're just dying from sepsis, from the absolutely dirty environment that all their open wounds are exposed to. I don't know. I'm no doctor, but I gotta say, it did not look sanitary. And the science versus superstition, where it grows, where it's like more and more they're bringing up, they're like, hey man, that old witch doctor on the other side of that, it's like, wait, okay, is there, like, what's going on here? Maybe there is something, because it's starting to seem like this guy has honestly has no idea what's going on. This other doctor was a guinea pig, but what, was he a guinea pig for something that was already happening? Because the one lady's, like, the one guy saw his old lady walking around. Remember? You don't remember? It's okay, I didn't remember until I watched the movie again. But he was the first motherfucker to see somebody, and the first one to get sick, because he saw his wife, and she'd been dead for 2 days and got bit, and blah, 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 and started it there. So there was something already going on, you know? But these scientists, so what happened is, it is not the scientist's fault in this one. As we get into some later zombie movies, we'll see some shit, you know what I'm talking about. But in this one, it is straight up the dark magic creating the zombies, the evil zombies that are rising and attacking and eating and killing and murdering. So I do love that. It's the battle of science versus superstition, and in this one, it chooses a path, and this path is it is definitely some evil magic going on. And the camera angles preceding the eyeball violence are epic. They're absolutely epic. Like, one of my favorite parts is where the camera pans over and you just see the wall, and you see the light, you know, that's coming through the crack of the door, and you see the light getting wider, so you know the door is getting wider and wider, and you just see that, and it's like, There's nothing in the frame. There's no zombie hand. There's no violence. There's no gore. It's just that wall, and you see that light getting wider, and you know what's happening off there. That is so fucking great. That is like one of my favorite shots of all time. It is so great. And of course, the eyeball scene. It is a classic Lucio Fulci fucking eyeball violence. That scene with the practical effects, where it cuts back and forth between her and then the practical effect and everything. It is so great. It is so just cringy fucking great. It is one of the best scenes. Slow-mo eyeball poke. It's just like, oh. classic. And just I love the practical effects. You could tell it's fake. You could see it's not real, but it doesn't matter because it's just so awesome that you just love it. And it's just one of those things. When it shows the main street and the town or the village or whatever that's on the island, it looks strangely reminiscent of the street that you see at the beginning of George Romero's Day of the Dead. And I'm wondering if Romero was kind of inspired by Fulci there, because first Fulci was inspired by Romero, and I'm wondering if Romero was a little inspired by Fulci in that, because they look very similar. And I know that Day of the Dead came out in like early 80s, but it was like the 80s by then and shit. So it's like, I wonder if it was like back and forth, little nods to each other, and that's pretty cool. I'll have to find that out, but I saw that and I was like, dude, that just looks so much like Day of the Dead. And then I do love how the guy can, like, more than one says conquistadores, not conquistadors, but conquistadores. He makes sure to pronounce it like that, conquistadores, which is my new favorite word now. I'll be like, man, use all some conquistadores up in here. I don't think that works. I'll work on it. I'll have to spitball that one. We'll save that shit. The gruesome zombie feast, the epic gore of that, and the practical effects where that lady is just torn apart and those zombies are just feeding. That is so just like, oh, it's that. It's where it's like if you're just into the thriller kind of intrigue noir-esque parts, like I was saying, that are less bloody, maybe some violence, but less bloody. Like there's enough of that, but then it's like the gore is just so great in this. It's like classic. This is for gorehounds. This movie is more for gorehounds. I'm gonna admit it. It's not gonna be for every horror fan. It's gonna be for people that like a little more gore in their stuff. And what's cool is it's sprinkled throughout, so it's not like a constant like blah, 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 but it has its moments where it like really hits you. And I love the classic car crash where the guy can't find the fucking brake pedal and goes about 50 feet off the road and crashes. Now they're on foot, and of course one of them's injured. And man, that's when it starts getting intense. It starts to get a little claustrophobic there. It's like, oh shit, now they're stuck on foot and there's zombies fucking everywhere, and one of them's fucking injured, which means they can't move fast. So it's like it builds the intensity a little bit there. And I love the graveyard scene with our iconic zombie that's on the cover. I do believe, yeah, there we go. There he is. Yeah, look at that smile. That's a smile only a mamas can love. Only a mamas can love that smile. But like that's where we get our iconic zombie popping up, and just that whole thing right there is just, it's really, it gets really, just when the zombies come up, and just the camera, where the camera is like, has the dirt on it, and it's like coming up and the dirt's falling off like it's supposed to be like zombie vision. That is so fucking great. That is like one of the greatest things, man. It's like, to think of that, it's like, thank you. Because, thinking outside the box, trying different camera angles, just thinking like differently, and just throwing little shit like that into movies is like, I don't know, I enjoy that. Whether it's a good movie or a horrible movie, it's just seeing somebody being inventive, it makes me happy. See something new. And like, I really loved that, how it's like, it's supposed to be the zombies' vision and the dirt falling off like they're coming up out of the dirt. It's fucking great. And then the epic throat rip when that zombie like rips that lady's throat out. That is one of the most brutal throat rips I've ever seen in my entire lives. It was fucking, it was great effects. The effects on that were just fucking solid. And I do love the zombie makeup. The zombie makeup in this is like where they're really dry and crusty, like really, like their skin looks very just dry and crusty. But then they'll have like the gobbets of like gory like blood, and just thick blood, and just like weird saliva, or just whatever running from their noses and mouths and whatever, and just like, so they have this very dry, crusty with a very like wet, just bloody kind of gorish. It's like I love how it like mixed those, like each one, like it looked so dry And it looked so bloody, you know. It's like they were so extreme that they just made each other look even more extreme, and really, each of them popped. And so the makeup, I really did like that makeup. And then I do love like just like conquistadores. We also have the word voodooism popping up in the movie. Love the word voodooism. I hope that makes that into the dictionary. If it hasn't already, it should. I'm going to petition for that, because if we're going to have fucking irregardless in the dictionary, we're going to have goddamn voodooism too. Okay? Okay? If motherfuckers could have irregardless, I want voodooism. And I also want it changed to be pronounced by everyone to be conquistadores. All right. And I wrote down science versus superstition. Superstition wins. It was the black magic. It was the black magic the whole time. And the great zombie kills. And the great bite effects. Like the zombie kills, like the one in the graveyard when they finally knock that zombie down, they smash his head and they're just like, the head explodes. A lot of great head exploding zombie scenes in this. Like a lot of them. Of course, you got your gunshots, you know, to the body and stuff, which they actually like make pretty bloody, which is pretty cool. But a lot of the other like zombie death shit where they're like the one where his head like exploded, like they put way too much explosives in that head. It was ridiculous, but it was funny, and it was just like, whoa. But a lot of like the great bite effects, like the bites were really goodness. They looked just like atrocious, and it was just like, whoa. So I really did like think the effects were done so great. I just keep doing that. The bite effects. And then the Colin Kaepernick zombie. There's a zombie in this that looks kind of like Colin Kaepernick. I'm not saying it's like they could be twins, but it's like he could be like a lookalike. Like he could be someone who plays like his stunt double or something like that, like Colin Kaepernick's stunt double. Like it's just so funny every time I say it, I'm like, oh shit, that guy looks like Colin Kaepernick, that zombie. And then I like how they have the idea of lighting the dry old hospital on fire while they're still in it. I mean, this is basically just like the lightest tinder wood ever, where it would just go up like whoosh. I would not trust lighting it on fire, but they're like throwing fucking Molotov cocktails all up in that bitch to keep the zombies back, and I'm like, that's ballsy, dude. We're like, listen, we're gonna be in this, and we're gonna have the zombies coming after us, and we're gonna light this on fire. That's pretty wild, man. These are some wild people here. The fiery final stand is great, though. It seemed like a Western at that moment. You know, that scene was like very much like a Western, and Fulci did do some Westerns and everything. But like that was a very Western, where you got the fire, and you got like the bad guys, you know, the zombies. They're coming in after the good guys who have their rifles and pistols and are trying to pick them off and, you know, survive. You know, it almost had like a very Magnificent Seven type feel to it in a way. You know, so I mean that was kind of cool. Like it made that scene even more kind of exciting. And you know, I don't know. Maybe it also because it took place in like an old barn, and just, you know, the guns they were using were very retro because this came out in '79. So it's like, you know, maybe all that together just gave it that vibe, and it was very cool. And then I do love where the boat radio, when they turn on the boat radio, they're like, hey man, we're going to take the zombie with us. We're going to take him back with us. He's a zombie now. So we need people to believe us because this is some fucked up shit. We need to get some fuckers out here to stop this. Propel, remember? I drink Propel. Propel fitness water. Liquid fitness for your face and body. I feel so fitness. Propel, I feel so fitness. That's what I'm so gonna get an endorsement from them. I just know it. But so they have him. They're gonna take him, but it turns out after they turn on the radio, that shit's been going down in New York and spreading the whole time. So it's like, yeah, I wonder if that's what fucking is supposed to be like. What's going on? Maybe that's Dawn of the Dead happening at that time or something. I don't know. I'm gonna watch it. I think it fits in there somewhere. But that's when we find out that whole time there's been another plot going on a separate plot, a plot of the zombies rising in New York and slowly taking over there at the same time. So I mean, I thought that was pretty cool. But yeah, Zombie. I really love this movie. Like I said, I have it on a DVD set, a 3-disc DVD set, and I got it on a 3-disc Blu-ray set, and I am going to upgrade it very soon to 4K. I want it on 4K. I want to see this in lovely 4K. So, and I also, like, I don't know, you guys will see, it's like, I have multiple versions of some of these, but I don't have my DVD version out here to show you, but I do have this. And I'm going to put, here, I just want to show this off a little bit, you know, in case you're like thinking about it. You know, this is yeah, you know, it's got a little booklet here with some factoids. I'll have to read that again. I think I read it once. To read it again. It's just like got a nice, like, neat little book about like some shit in there. The movie, reversible cover, blah blah blah. I'm putting a link for the 4K, you know, in case you want to get it, because the 4K is actually reasonably priced, you know. You gotta think 30 something, like a little over $30 for 4K that has like another disc or two and just loaded with features. For a collector, that's not bad, man. That's like average. That's cool. So I'm gonna upgrade that soon. I upgraded some other Fulci, and I need to get on it and get Zombie. But yeah. So I think I signed your pity on the running kind pretty hard this time. So you might want to get some Gold Bond medicated powder or something for that chafing. You're probably gonna chafe now, getting your pity running kind so hard. But yeah, so that's been Zombie, and we'll be back next time with Zombie 2, aka or Zombie Flesh Eaters 2, aka Zombie 3. Yeah, it gets interesting. But yeah, so check out the links for different stuff. It's actually on Tubi if you want to watch it, which is pretty fucking sick. So you can go watch it for free on Tubi if you want. Until the next episode, deuces, double deuces. I promise never to do that again. That was stupid. I'm sorry. But all right. See you on the next time. See you on the next time.